Okay, happy Friday, everybody. See if it's going to get started on time today. Hopefully so. I hope everybody had a great Friday or a great week leading up to Friday, and I sure did. I did all right this week. We didn't get a ton done, but we got something done. So I hope everybody else's week was good. See here, it doesn't look like it's started yet, but we'll see what happens. All right, there we go. The commercials are starting anyway. How many people we got in here? Looks like we got 8 filing in. Everybody's starting to come in. Joe, thanks, is the first one to comment. There's Kim. Hi.
Hi.
Let's see if anybody else pops in. Got to sound off, or I'm not going to know you're here.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Your usual.
Well, we'll see how everybody's coming in. There's
Hey,
Torp.
Torp. Hey, Spray Bomb.
Spray Bomb's here. Torp's here. Got to know you're here, guys. Thanks for letting me know. Hope everybody was doing all right this week. We did all right. Like we ordered the floor. That was an event. Waiting for that to get here. They finally said it'll be delivered today, and then they gave us one of those crazy windows between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Well, it got here at what? What would you say, Kim? 4:45?
Yeah.
Got here about 4:45, but at least it's here. So that's a start. So I'll be working on that pretty good tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Paul White made it. What's going on, Paul? How you doing, man? hope you had a good
Hey,
good
Paul
week.
White.
Let's see here, little buddy. What's the matter, my little buddy? You might have to bring his bed over for him, Mom. It's like he wants to be over here tonight. Yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it, Spray Bomb. We like I said, we got the floor today, and I got it deboxed, and I looked at it, did a little bit of measuring. Like it got here so late. It got here at almost 5 o'clock. Got here about 3.5 hours ago. So we were lucky just to get it out of the box. Hey, Mark, what's going on? How you doing? It's definitely my plan for the rest of the weekend. Well, actually, Sunday I'm probably going to go out for a little bit and go to the car show. I haven't been to one in about 3 weeks, and I like this one. It's close to home, so I'm going to go. We'll see how it goes. I don't expect to win anything at this one. It's one of them ones where I don't know. I guess maybe you better off knowing somebody. I don't know. David, what's going on? How you doing, buddy? Glad you could make it, man. Take a sip. So I should be able to put together a video tomorrow. I should be able to get pretty deep into that job, actually. I mean, it's just slapping the floor in, but Kim just waved her hand at me like I'm not going to do it. Oh, she said no. She pointed at the TV. I guess she's mad at her baseball team. I thought she was saying horse Bucky to me, and it could be true. Robbie, what's going on,
Robbie.
man? How you
hey,
doing?
David.
Winging it with Tracy made it. Chris is
Tracy.
here. What's happening, man?
Chris. Chris was doing some stuff this week.
Yeah, I saw a couple things. So we'll see how it goes. I think the Nova should start going back together pretty quick. I mean, I think so. I don't know. Slow for everybody else, but quick for BW. I was happy.
Josh.
Josh is here. I was happy to see those front bracket portions for the springs. That it's like half of it is on frame rail, I think, and then the half that's on the floor is still there. So I'm gonna figure all that out tomorrow. It's been a year since I took that trunk pan out, so I kind of forgot. But I went back and I'm gonna look at some of the video, and then I'll remember what I'm doing. I just need to look at certain things and say, "Oh yeah, that was there." So it should go pretty good though. I think so. It's
Too,
just like,
babe.
that AMD sheet metal is pretty close. It's like I was looking at the wheel tubs when I was cleaning up the inner rockers, and on the driver's side, like there's a actual stamp where the inner rocker rests, and it's stamped into the inner tub, and it's like a perfect outline, and that one's perfectly placed and it fits. But on the passenger side, it's like there's like a quarter inch. You can see about a quarter inch of the stamp the whole way around, and it just looks like it's higher. But
Hey,
I look at
Don.
hey Don, but I look at the back, and it's like if I would have brought it down more, it would have been way off in the back. So it's not perfect. So we'll see how it goes. But that's me lining it up. That's not. That's we'll see. We'll look at it real close.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not cutting it loose over something so small, but my brain got locked into that, and I was looking at that pretty heavily yesterday. So anybody else file in? Dawn's here. Hey, Josh is here.
Too, babe.
Babe.
Well, he's got family in town, so he might have just stopped in to say hi.
All right, that's cool. Completely understand, man. But it's exciting, like this, is to start really getting
Desert
into
rat.
this. Yo, Mike, what's going on, man? All right, man. Well, it's like number 7. Everybody, don't forget to hit the like button. It sure does help. I think it does anyway. Yeah, I'll hit them just right. Maybe they'll put us on the front page again. You never know. Mm.
Take a sip.
What's that, hon?
Robbie said, take a sip.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to start putting some of the sheet metal on and getting it off my floors. I mean, I have it everywhere. Oh, too, yeah, another thing. A good thing I didn't throw out that sheet metal on the side of the house where I cut the old floor out. I got to take a couple measurements. Definitely, I have to measure where those hooks for the back seat go. They supplied them. Remember, I was talking to Don in text message off of YouTube about it, because I'm like, Don, double check, because I think all the braces and brackets are there, and the seat brackets come with the floor, but you have to attach them. They're in a bag. They're in a bag. Now the braces are all attached. They're all spot welded on in the correct locations. The seat belt holes with the nuts are all welded in. They're in the factory locations. But the back seat hooks, and then those little flat ones, I think they're for the bottom of the back. You have to weld those on yourself.
Oh,
So,
that's good, Robbie.
oh yeah, we'll see how it goes, Mike. we're gonna find out. I think our next big purchase is gonna be a passenger side door. I was talking to Shop 209. I asked him in his video about, because he bought a door, and they're adjustable on the door and the post. Because ours on the driver's side is adjustable on both, and I think that is an original door. Underneath that white paint on the passenger side, it's red. And that car was hit on the passenger side. It has a quarter welded over top of another quarter on the passenger side, and the door is not original. It's red underneath that white paint, and the hinge is welded. And I'm gonna need that adjustment. The way they fixed it, they bent the bottom of the door, like, I don't know if they used a wrench or whatever, just to kinda meet the rocker. And when we put that quarter panel on, we're gonna need a door. So that'll be my next big purchase. Maybe next month, maybe second week. I'll wait till like the second. I'll wait till Kim gets this bill, then I'll slip that in. I'll hit her with one thing at a time, not two things. Uh-oh, high-pitched squealing noises. What are you? I'm not complaining. I'm just stating Facts. I sure hope you don't mean me one. I sure hope. I don't know.
Chris drives with his door half open.
It probably needs pins. The hinge, I made a short and then I made another video on it. Chris, the hinge pin rebuild is not that difficult on those. It at first it is. I like the stock pins over the rebuild ones because the rebuild ones they're longer and I don't like the clip for them. But they work and they give you various bushings. Like if your hole's too far wore out, you can drill the hole pretty big and they give you a larger bushing in there that you can use to tighten that up. It's not that difficult. But I know the weld on ones are more difficult. We'll see. I rebuilt the hinge on the passenger side. I was hoping, well, maybe if I just rebuild it, it wasn't enough. It's like I have to, it has to do this. The door has to roll a little bit, I think. And
Junkyards, there's
you need that door action for that.
junkyards are going away. There's
Huh?
not a lot of junkyards around here anymore.
Yeah, they're really and I went online. I went online and I looked everywhere. It picked all the Nova parts are picked over. They really are. Um, Jay's buying that fender off of me. I think the '69 Fender. It's on the side of the house there. He's buying that. I think I'm going to take it down to. I was going to take it today, but the window for that floor coming, they said between 10 and 4. I was kind of, locked in here, and he's only at his Claymont shop in the morning. So I just want to run it down to him real quick. I mean, it's $150. It's $150 worth of Nova parts I can buy. I need a new door latch on the driver's side, so maybe I'll buy that with that money. We'll see.
Hey,
They say
Hubie.
we're taking it one step at a time. Yeah, I heard that too, Don, and they are riding them pretty hard. The Joe's junkyard here, it was ran by Carezzi and his family, and they just went out of business 4 months ago. And that was everybody went to, was it Joe's or Lou's? I think they called it Lou's.
It
I
was
think Lou's down on 9th Street. You used to be able to go in there. They'd even pick the part for you, no problem. They really didn't want a bunch of people running up through the yard, but you know, they were a good outfit, and they're just going away.
Really, Hubie? That's interesting.
What's that, huh? I'm trying to catch up.
Junkyards are large corporations.
Nowadays they are, but back in the day they weren't. Now they're like huge on scrap and everything like that, and they got people watching their scrap because of the people that are stealing all the catalytic converters and stuff, and so there's a big business in that. There's big money in that, and them corporations are gravitating towards everything where there's money. And that's why they're killing the housing market. They're running in and buying everything up, and then doubling what you'd pay in mortgage and rent. They're killing people. they ought they ought to outlaw that. That should be off limits. And I'm a capitalist, but that should be off limits. What's this peach thing, Kim?
He's an ass.
Oh,
Hey, PPSS.
right. Like I said, they're going away here, Hubie. They're just going away. I mean, I'm sure it's the same way in Philly, but I'm not going into Philadelphia right now. It's crazy down there. I don't even. My son always goes down there for these events, and I just hate it. I don't want him down there. Yo, Rick, what's happening, brother? Yeah. Now there's still one, a private one, and it's in Lower Delaware. I should ask Jay because he said that he has his buddy down there, and that Kim and I can go. And Kim, we were supposed to go last. I don't know what it was, fall
Two
or
years
winter,
ago.
and we didn't make it. And I kick myself for not going down there because it's all 55, 56, and 57 Chevys and Pontiacs. That's all that's on that yard, and it's full. So, I mean, it's a lot of the stuff where Jay stripped out the cars. A lot of them are picked over, but there is still some stuff down there.
Well, that was nice of you to stop by PPSS. Anywhere good? It's out to dinner.
All right, brother, enjoy. Have a good time. Did you hear anything on or have you made any final decisions on that gasser? Well, I guess I'll find out from you later. Wow, that's a shame, man. You think somebody would have went in and scooped that up at least. It makes you wonder. I wonder if all the components were stripped off of it before they stripped it, because I mean, these yard guys are not dumb. They know what that stuff's worth, and the framework for that rag top's worth money. I mean, that's nice money. So if there was anything to it, they would if they had any brains, they would have took that stuff off before they threw it in the crusher. I'll tell you that. That's half the fun. That's like that Nova. That Nova should have went into the crusher. But I don't care, man. It's like, you know what? It's when we're done, it won't be that. It's just like the 55. Nobody wanted anything to do with that. And now everybody wants it. So it's just it takes a while. That's all, just time and patience and money. But as long as you got time and patience, the money's not a problem because you just buy parts when you can and as you can. And you can't be in a hurry. And I'm in no hurry. And Kim doesn't care. Well, they don't ride the people down there like they do up here, Don. It's like, it's just like with everything else. How strict are the local and the laws, and who's around to enforce the laws? I mean, if you get these, like you say, like these EPA guys, or even the Pennsylvania guys, I mean, they can be ball breakers. It's like they always go down, and they're always measuring the rainwater runoff and stuff like that around our plants and stuff like that. They used to do it down at the little Westlake Plastic I was at. They do it down there at Kimberly Clark. They're on top of that stuff. It's like they want to make sure that nothing's getting washed down into the waterways, and it's you know they're strict. But you go down south, it's a little more laxed.
Hey, Martin, right?
Yo, Martin, what's going on, man?
I'm not singing that one. That one's a little too hard, Robbie.
Thanks a lot, Martin. I appreciate it, man. We try our best.
Hey, old school.
Old school's here. Cool.
Just a little patient. I
I
can't do that one, Robbie. No.
when I was a little kid, um, we my I lived up in Butler, up towards Pittsburgh, and my grandmother lived down here where we're at now, but in Downingtown. So every summer we used to ride the turnpike from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia or this area for the whole summer. We'd spend the whole summer here and then ride back. And there was like 5 or 6 junkyards on the turn that you could see from the turnpike as you were driving, miles and miles of cars that were just stacked in fields, and they're all gone. And they were the old cars. They were the 50s, 60s, 70s. I mean, there was 30s and 40s stuff in there too. Don't get me wrong, but there was that those were the honey holes. But that's when I was Like we're going back to the 70s,
Well,
80s.
don't you remember there was one right down by the Philly Stadium? The big
Yeah, yeah, I do remember that too, hon. But I mean, if you're going, because think about everything you pass on the turnpike, Allentown, um, uh, Carlisle, where's what's the Hershey? It's all, and there was all these junkyards, and they were just you could see them from the roadway. I was a little kid, and there's nothing to do when you're a little kid. You didn't have video games in the 70s to play in the car, so you're looking out the window. You're find a red car, that kind of games, or try to get the truck drivers to blow the horn and just look out the windows. And I just remember miles and miles of junkyard cars. It's always stuck in my head. It's like them days and them cars are long gone.
old school wants to know if you knew a guy named Pete McDonald in Butler.
Pete McDonald. I don't know the name. I know some McDonald's. I know Brian McDonald, David McDonald. Um, but Pete, I'm not sure. How old would he be, old school? I mean, I knew Brian and David's dad, Earl. Maybe he was related to Earl.
Earl. Goodbye. How about Goodbye Earl, Robbie? I like that one.
No, but I knew some McDonald's. I grew up with Brian McDonald. We were the exact same age. I don't know if they're any relation to your friend Pete, or how old is Pete?
Oh, that's cool, Don. I never saw that before.
They used
Maybe.
to have those little license plates on the turnpike in the stores where you would go in and look for your name. They would on a
Yeah, but this is your actual license plate.
oh, oh, I misunderstood. I thought, but I remember on the turnpike, you go to those rest stops. They had like a tree with everybody's name on them, just kind of like the amusement parks had, but they were on the turnpike too.
That's a little too old for him, old school.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
looks that
I'm
old, but
50,
he's
I'm
not that old.
54. So that's a little bit older to me. So that's a few years ahead.
He's got a lot of blonde in that beard, but he's not that old.
Little bit. But no, that's a couple years older. I was like if Earl was Brian McDonald's father, and he would be 75, 80 years old now. David was the older brother of Brian, and he was 2 years older than my brother Danny. So, I mean, the name Pete does not ring a bell. Yeah, it's doing all right. It's starting to fill out. We'll see if we keep it or not. I still haven't decided. Kim hasn't complained too much, so I guess it can stay a while. All right. Are you from that area, old school? Are you from the Butler area? Because I could throw some names at you. I know a couple people. No, that's cool, man. No problem. Yeah, they're trying to get rid of uh all the older cars. I don't, you guys remember I think it was like around maybe it was 2010, somewhere around there. I think it was Obama's first term. He had that $5,000 rebate on
Hey,
junk
John.
cars. So everybody was turning their junk cars in. They were, if you had a car, it was worth like $1,000. You turn it in, you got a $5,000 tax credit on a car. So people were doing that like crazy. So all those cars got destroyed. So that was like a whole generation of cars. If anybody that had a car that wasn't worth a whole bunch would do that. But they weren't really that big of collector cars. They were mostly, the front wheel drive junk of today. But I mean, I'm sure we lost some classics that way too.
Hey, Kevin L.
Yeah, John remembers cash for clunkers.
Hey,
That's
Jesus.
exactly right, John.
Ooh, Jesus is coming from a car show, and Kevin's coming in from getting the lawn mowed before it got dark.
All right, that's cool. Well, I'm glad you both made it, man.
Oh, it's been beautiful here this week, Kevin. Absolutely. I can't wait for fall. I just don't like it getting dark so early.
Appreciate both of you guys
Hey,
coming.
outboard
Thanks,
tinkerer.
Jesus. Yo, Glenn made it. What's going on, man? How you doing, brother? That's another itch I might eventually scratch. Old school is I might try to find myself a Smokey and the Bandit at some point. So there was one I always liked them, but there was one that was right behind my son's house, and it was immaculate. I mean, it was a $30,000, $40,000 car, and I just kept looking at it. And Jonathan told me the guy moved away. I wouldn't buy it done. I'd have to find one that I could do myself. But I mean, I don't know. I might have to scratch that itch at some point. I kind of already did with that Z28. I kind of know what those cars are all about, but I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, BBK.
I don't blame you, Kevin. You got to do that stuff in the evening hours. You can't do it. You can't do it during the heat of the day. And I know I can't do it during the heat. Well, I have in the past, but I try not to do it in the heat of the day. I try to get it knocked out in the morning or late in the evening. I think there's a mosquito in here, Dork.
That's because somebody was supposed to put the stuff down in the yard and they never did.
Yeah. Well, that'll help, but it won't do anything for that back field where they haven't sprayed this year. Now I'm going to be itchy because I heard it. You know, like when a bug gets real close to your ear, you can hear it buzzing. Wow. That's something else, Torp. Wrote off. Did you read that, Kim? Where he got his wife's fan got wrote off for a little dent and a hole in the quarter panel. That's wild. All right, old school man, take it easy.
Hi, old school.
He gave
Hey,
500
Monty.
for his Trans Am. Nice.
Martin's mom
I'll
spending
check
in
it
his
out, old
inheritance.
school. I like those old Trans Ams. That's cool. Got mom a new car for her birthday. It's okay, man. That's why I told my son he ain't getting it all. I'm going to spend some of it. And I was on Kim yesterday. I told her that she needs to spend some of hers. She wants to get herself some stuff. She ought to get herself some stuff.
We'll see.
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are, Torp. They are, and that was the idea of the cash for clunkers down here. That's what they were pushing to get all the older cars off the road. I mean, my '55 Chevy, they're gonna pry that from my cold dead hands. I ain't giving them my car. Can't have it. And they ain't getting my Nova either. Although the Nova is going to be more pollution friendly, I think. I really believe. I haven't decided the size yet, but I think I'm going to go with an LS with a modern transmission. I think I'd like to have that. I want a nice cruiser.
Hey, Chaz. What kind of car did your mom get, Martin? Did you get my text?
Yeah. Yes, I did, darling. All right, guys. Well, it's that time of the day in the show for our bumper sticker giveaway. We're going to be giving away these bumper stickers for a while. We got a whole
That's
bunch
funny,
of them.
Hubie.
Huh?
Just go.
All right. Well, I need a number between 1 and 50, 1 and 50 for your chance to win the bumper sticker this week on VW's Garage. Go.
Help you fix the clock. Ooh, all around it, all around it.
Oh, wait. There it is. Hubie's Garage. Hubie's Garage. Number 26. Hubie's Garage.
Hubie won.
Hubie's Garage. You guys can see Kim texted me the number 26. And she did it at 8:58. So we all know it's on the up and up. Nice job, Hubie. I'll get this in the mail to you, buddy.
Do we have Hubie's right address?
I think so. Hubie, you got the last thing I sent you, right? Let me just check here.
I've got so many commercials tonight. I've gotten 2 Nike commercials. I just got a salad commercial.
I really need you to make the new one, hon.
I made you a new one not that long ago.
The last 2 digits of your address, Hubie, 71. Is that right? Because I remember he moved across the street. I always get paranoid I got the wrong one. But that's the old paper.
There you go. He said address is good.
Okay, cool. There you go. We'll get that in the mail to you. I haven't seen Gordon in 2 weeks. I was going to ask him if, because he last week he was asking me if he could have a bumper sticker. I sent him one. I wanted to find out if he got it, but he hasn't showed up for 2 weeks. I get worried, man. You know. So we'll see. Maybe he got it, and maybe he's out doing his thing. Who knows? I think Don already won a bumper sticker, Hugh.
He did.
He did. I think like 2 weeks ago he won a bumper sticker. He doesn't have to hustle. He already got one. Chaz trying to get him another one. Guys trying to hook him up. That's the 455 Super Duty is a very good car, Martin. Very good car. Single headlight. I think they were mostly in white with blue interior. Correct me if I'm wrong, Don, but I'm pretty sure that the Super Duty Trans Am's in 1970. In my mind, that's what color they are. Uh-oh. I hope it's not us doing that. The computer seems to be fine. Are you buffering, hon?
No.
It must be your internet service, Jazz. We're doing good up here. I got my. There you go. Orange, white, blue, yellow, black, and silver also. All right. It just seems like every one I ever seen was white. Which one was the most popular? Which one was the most produced one? Find that out. See, that was Martin's, white with blue interior. It seems like every 455 Super Duty I've ever seen has been white with blue interior. Now there could be several colors. It's like one said, but it's just like every one I've ever seen was white with blue interior. All right, buddy. I'm glad to know that. There you go. Robbie says black. Possible. We got to keep David. We got to keep David entertained. He's got to have a sip quick. Uh, so for all you guys that just came in late, the floor for the Nova came today. Eddie's Garage. What's going on? And we're going to be working on that all day
Aloha
tomorrow.
from Texas.
Huh?
Aloha from Texas.
Yeah. Eddie's Garage, Texas. Yes, he did. Paunch. Oh, man. That's great. I just saw on Facebook, remember in 1972, but I watched it in reruns because I remember when I was a little kid. Emergency. Remember Emergency? I watched that in like syndication reruns when I was a little kid. I liked it a lot. I liked that, and I liked Code Adam 12.
It wasn't Code Adam 12.
Huh?
It wasn't called Code
It
Adam.
was Adam 12. But that remember they always that was the radio call. Code Adam 12. Come on.
I can't believe that Ponch's partner on that show is Chris Pine's dad.
Yeah.
We just watched that show with Chris Pine, Brian. We watched that movie.
Okay. One Adam 12, John said. Yeah, it was one Adam 12.
Okay, so you know the guy that played the main character in that movie? That's Ponch's partner's son in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, the difference is the difference in what I paid John was because I got my floor for the 55 before things went insane. I think I gave close to $900 for it, 850 or $900. Now I paid for shipping too, but the cost of the floor itself was for the Nova is about half. I just gave $450 for the Nova floor. So, and guys, I was sweating it with the Nova floor because I found a drawing online and it was somebody wrote it in there.
Okay, there
It was
you
an
go.
AM. What, hon?
I was saying to Hubie, there you go.
It was somebody wrote the measurements on there, and they said the floor was 46 inches wide. Well, from inside quarter to inside, quarter, inside rocker to inside rocker on the Nova is 47. See, that's the first measurement I made as soon as I pulled it out of the box, and it's 47. So whoever wrote that on the internet, don't listen to them. It is the right size. It's 47. Now I was thinking, before I cut that front, I think I'm gonna, and before I even punch the holes for the spot welds or anything like that, I think I'm just gonna muscle the floor in and try to get it where it goes to where I can get the bolt started. And then I want to scribe the line up front for that cut. And when I weld that seam in the front, I may only tack it because when I turn that car around and pull the motor out and take the subframe out, I'll decide then if that kick plate needs replaced too. And if I feel like it does, I only got to break the tacks loose. If I'm okay with it, if I'm the toe board section, I mean to say, not kick plate, the toe board section. If I want to change it, I can, and if I don't, then I'll weld it up at that point. I'm not sure yet. I might crawl under there and really look. We'll see. Because I got a patch. It'll be like about 8 inches of new floor there that I put in. But up there where the gas pedal is, right by the gas pedal, I know that metal was a little thin. And I know I can do a much better job with the engine and frame out of the way, fixing on that. So I'm just thinking ahead. Just trying to allow for every because I mean, if I'm going to have it, if I'm going to have the whole thing apart, hey, there you go, Josh. You beat me to it, but there you go. I want it to be solid. So exactly, Martin. And I feel like it's worth the time to muscle the floor up in there and see if I could scribe that line.
That's where it came from, Don. It came from Ohio.
That's crazy. Oh, you're by the old man then, Don. The guy, what's the name of that YouTube channel? He has a 55, and he has that Malibu, that tan Malibu he races and stuff. I watch him every once in a while. He's always going. He's always going to Jegs. He lives right around the corner from Jegs. Yeah, the old man garage. There you go, Torp. He's your neighbor, man. He seems like he knows an awful lot about like tuning and stuff too. He's on top of stuff. There you go. Eddie said it's the old man's garage. There you go. You pal around with him, Don. Oh, okay. Maybe there's a Jegs and maybe there's a Jegs in the Dayton area then, because I've seen several of his episodes. He drives right into Jegs and he's on like a first name basis with him. And I think they give him, because he's got a lot of YouTube pull, so I think he gets a lot of his stuff discounted
Hey, Lewis.
for showing them on there.
The
Yeah, it is, UB. It is a
Guru.
really good channel. And he's got an interesting way that he does his videos. He likes to narrate his way through them, and that's well thought out too. He's not just narrating off the cuff. He's writing it out, and it's really nice the way they do.
Where you going, babe?
Gordon, there he is. Good. I'm glad you got it, buddy.
You want to get down?
I'm glad you. I was just asking people if they seen you because I wanted to find out if you got the bumper sticker. I'm glad you got it, buddy. Good. I agree with that, Hubie. He sure does, Glenn. I need somebody to help me tune my 55. I was out there today. Kim was like, it was idling out front, and Kim's like, I can smell that in here. It's burning a little rich. I went out and I checked the initial timing again, and I had it set. I feel like I had it set a little too high, and they say for a 454, the initial timing should be around 12 degrees, and that's punched out to a 468. So I split the difference, and I set it at 14 degrees initial timing, and I backed the idle screw down to 760 RPMs, and it seemed like it seemed like it smoothed out a little bit, and it's not stinky. It's not so stinky, but I think the air fuel mixtures need to be adjusted on that carburetor, and I'm going to ask my friend Duffy at work if he'll look at it. He fixed the problem on my Z28, same problem. But I guess the first thing I could do is look. I don't even know where the idle mixture, fuel air mixture on that carburetor screws are. On the old GM stuff, they were up front. It wasn't too bad. You had two screws up front. One was the air, one was the fuel. This is a demon, and I don't know where the screws are. I'm not going to just start randomly turning stuff. I guess I could look at a breakdown on the computer when I get a minute. I'll sit there and look at it.
Install an air fuel gauge with an O2 in the exhaust.
Okay, that's sound advice. I'll look.
Lewis said, "Did you try locking the disc out?"
I have there's mixed feelings on that, locking out the what you do, hun, is it Dee Dee speech up just did it. You drop the gear off and you put a screw in so that and you take away the vacuum advance. A lot of I read a lot of stuff where some say don't do that. You start to you lose a lot of benefits of having the vacuum advance. And I've already got a fuel eating problem, and I think what I just did today, resetting the timing, I think it's going to help a lot. And I'm going to get an accurate measurement the next time I have to go any distance. Like when I went to my brother's car show up in Downingtown, I should have measured the actual gas mileage I was getting that day. That way I have a real good number to go off of. And I have, these guys that are telling you they're getting great gas mileage, like the guy, Glenn from, what's his channel? Let me look. I don't want to say it wrong. Riddle, I think. Mopar Glenn Ridd. And he sent me a couple videos to look at. And and the one guy was measuring his fuel, but he admitted he was sort of cheating on the way back. He was popping it in neutral and gliding down the hill, and he got his gas mileage on his big 440 car all the way to 22 miles at a gallon. But it was mostly downhill on the way back, and he was putting it in neutral. I got a heavy foot when I'm playing with the car. I do. I mean, when I get a straightaway and there's nobody around, I enjoy my car. But and that's not good for gas mileage. So if I just drive it, I think it does a lot better. Like when Kim brought me about 2 gallons of gas, and we were 5 miles, hun? Would you say that's 5 miles to Old Navy where you picked me up with that without a gas?
I guess maybe 6, 7. I don't know.
And I just babied it the whole way home on that 2 gallons of gas. And when I got home, there was still about a little more than half of what she brought me. That I was milling. What do they call that, milling? Where you pop it in neutral and coast down the hills and you only give it gas when you're on a straightaway and you have to, or you know.
No, I don't think so either, Jazz.
See, there you go. Hubie's explaining it a lot better than I can. I'm not a tuner. I'm not an engine guy. I'm not a tuner, and none of the. I love playing with this stuff. I'll bolt it in and I'll do all that stuff and I'll weld the sides of these cars on and have fun. But like that's why I bought that big block, and it was an abandoned project. I took a chance buying that, and I didn't know enough about it. I dropped it off at the engine shop, and we paid an extra $1,200 to have that engine gone through. But we got it for such a cheap price. It was still it was still a really good deal. But I couldn't trust it, and he did find problems, and they would have been a nightmare for me to try to figure out. I'd still be hunting and going through it, and I'd be at the point now where I felt like I got ripped off on the engine. And it was just a couple things that needed to be done. Indexing washers because the dome pistons weren't quite right for the head, and he uh, found a crack in the pickup tube that made the oil pressure drop off. I would have thought it was bad. I would have thought the engine was bad. And all he did was put a new pump in there and TIG welded the pickup tube so that couldn't happen again. And haven't had a problem since. But those are the kind of things that if you don't know, you don't. I bet you do, John. I bet you do get better gas mileage when you turn all that stuff off. And like I say, I know that I could do a lot better in the gasser if I just behaved. And I'm not like a daredevil on the road. I don't want to hurt nobody else. But if there's nobody around and I got a quarter mile straightaway, I hit it. I love to hear the engine purr through the gear.
What's the matter, baby? What?
Absolutely, Robbie. Exactly, Gordon. I feel like if I go to a couple of those nostalgic drag racing car shows, like down at Cecil, I missed that one. The car wasn't painted yet and ready to go out on and stuff. And maybe next year I'll go to that one. And you meet people down there who will tune it for you, or show you how, because I don't know. And it's like, yeah, I wish I could run in, like go to one of those events and run into Jeff Lutz. I'd ask him to look at it. I bet you he would. I bet you he would. That's just the kind of guy he is. Get somebody who knows with a timing light and a screwdriver, and they'll bring it right in for you.
Oh, what the frick did you lock the door for?
There you go. One at by. I saw a Kellerson. What were they called? The J6s. On Marketplace the other day, and it was cool, man. Let me see if I can find it. You guys remember? But it was on a. You're supposed to put those on Ford Mustang platforms, and whoever had this one, they put it on a VW. And I guess you could do that too. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember these things. Trying to get it to come up. Yeah, the Kellerson kit cars. What they remind me of is the Jaguar. They got that big long front end on them. It's like a poor man's a Jaguar. Oh man, I was a kid, David. I mean, I wasn't to the extent like when we were in high school, like Jeff Lutz was building race cars when the rest of us were being goofballs. But that doesn't mean we weren't playing with cars. we were I mean, I was like 11th, 10th, 11th grade and 12th grade a lot. I mean, I skipped a lot of school because we would work all night, working on cars and not make it to school or come to school smelling like antifreeze with dirt all over us. I mean, the one night I cut my thumb in half, cutting a radiator hose to fit for a car. But it was like we were kids. We didn't know what we were doing, but we were doing stuff. And I mean, I didn't have the money for that stuff, but I was always helping work on everybody else's stuff. You know, I guess about 15, 16, David, is whenever. I mean, I like I was telling you guys earlier in the show, when I was 5 and 6, I was looking at all the junkyard cars. So maybe then too, but when I actually started tinkering with them, probably about 15, 16. And then, yeah, the XK 120. That's right, Glenn. No, not yet, Lewis. I should take it. That's cool, man. Wow. 10, 20. I don't think I'm going to be that fast, Lewis. I first of all, I takes forever. I don't have the short shift kit on that 5 speed, so and I got that big long shifter. If I go to the track, I'm just going to choke way down because it takes a long time to get through the gears. That's number one. Number two, I'm not a race car driver, so I'm sure I'm not going to hit the light when you're supposed to. But I mean, not to say it's not going to do good. I think it will. We have the right rear in it. We got 456s. I mean, yes, 488s would be better, but
Hey, there's
456s
Becky.
is fun because you can still play with them on the street. We got the big tall tire, the 31 and a halves. So our engine makes 500 horsepower right on the nose. So I'm thinking we're going to be mid 11s. Maybe somebody knows how to tune that thing and knows how to drive it. They might be able to crack low 11s. Maybe, I don't know, but I couldn't say for sure until I do it because I just don't know. Okay, so you got the 488s. Awesome, dude.
I don't know if this dog wants out or what.
I'm sure you will, Jason. Wow. 1013, 133 miles an hour. That's awesome, Tracy. I wouldn't even venture to guess. I mean, I just feel like my car should be in the 11s, even with me driving it, it should be at least in the high 11s. It might be better because I am telling you guys what, I I gotta still hook up the speedo on that thing. I don't have the speedo hooked up yet, and I have to get that cable. There's a cable you can buy that takes it from my Tremec 5-speed to a GM on the other end. But it's a couple $100. I just never bought it. I probably should just go. I'll have to put it on the list, on the I want list. I was actually just thinking about getting one of those satellites for the one of them satellite speedos where you just pay for the speedo and it gives you a satellite whenever you're driving. It can kind of tell you how fast you're going. Yeah, Lankos are very cool. I actually the first transmission I looked at was a Richmond, and they were very, very expensive. And then I went to look at the doing that L480E and the automatic, and then I looked at how much it would cost to get the manual valve body for it and the converter, the right converter for that. And the sticker shock just sent me home. And I just happened to open up my email, and Speedway sent me that deal for that TKX I got out there. I got the bell housing, the clutch kit, throw out bearing, and the transmission, uh, and the flywheel. And the flywheel for that is a small block flywheel on that big block Chevy. And they give you the counterweight plate that you bolt on there because they're externally balanced. So it has the smaller, higher RPM uh, ring gear on there, but it has, like I said, they sell you that plate, and it's just a TIG welded plate that bolts on to the flywheel. A lot of people don't know about that. I didn't know about that. But yeah, you can buy them plates and put them on there and use the smaller flywheel. And it was $3,400. And that was like almost $2,000 cheaper than I was just quoted at the transmission shop. So I said, I'm just buying it. We're going with the 5-speed. We're going with the Tremec. It'll bolt right up. It's a Lakewood bell housing. The one thing I eventually have to get is at least a scatter shield Kevlar jacket for that, because it's just a bell housing, but it's a thicker one. It's not like it's nothing, but it's not a scatter shield. So, yo, big job Ford. He made it for the last minute and a half. Thanks, Ron. I know it is. I'm just teasing him. He knows I'm just messing around. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a nice time tonight. I sure did. We're down to our last minute. We never run over an hour. That way we don't get too old, I guess. A lot of fun. I am going to work on the Nova most of the day tomorrow. So we might have a video out maybe Sunday or Monday. Depends on how far I get with that floor and what pops up, because Kim might want to do some stuff tomorrow too. We were trapped at the house today waiting for that thing to get here. All right. I appreciate that, David. Thank you. Oh yeah, it's not a problem. Thanks, Chaz. All right, man. Thanks a lot, Lewis. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate all you guys, man. A lot of fun this week. I hope everybody comes back and visits next week. We'll have something to talk about. Till next week, take care, everybody.